G'day scrappers, welcome to part 2 of the scrap marathon. And well, as usual, I'm picking up stuff as I'm trying to do the marathon, so it's just yeah, sort of slowing me up a bit. I just did a small school and a small office, so I've got a lot of stuff I've got to sort out first before I continue on with the marathon. A lot of cable I'll just put aside for now because I just don't have time to process. I've got a lot of laptops I need to sort out, which ones are sellable, which ones go as scrap, and PCs and printers, all kinds of things. Even got a microwave oven from an office. So I'll start on this. I'll empty out. Even got this big television stand. Don't know what I'm going to do with it. Might have to just send it off as scrap steel. I might take off these casters because they look like pretty good casters. But apart from that, let's get on with this scrap marathon and see how we go this time. So I've emptied out the van. That's one job out the way to get onto this marathon. Yeah, got to sort out all these laptops, a lot of these little Lenovo again, and the little Aces from schools. So, you know, some of them are quite okay. So I'll see if my buyer will probably buy these. He usually does. Same as these little Aces. They're pretty good. Oh, this one's no good. Some are, some are not. Yeah, now these ones probably got a little bit of damage. These Aces are the better ones, I think. Yeah, but again, you know, there's some with like missing keys and yeah. Oh, this one's good. Yeah, some good ones, some okay. These Dells are not going to be sellable. My buyer doesn't buy these, so I just take the RAM out. But I do have a bunch of these Elite books, the HPs, so hopefully these ones are all right. They look pretty good. They've only got the Core 2 Duo, but so a nice pile. Yeah, some various, you know, the HPs are the best ones, these Elite books, so they'll be okay. You know, running Windows Vista, and this one's got the Centrino CPU in it. Yeah, okay. These ones, you know, they sell but not much, and same as these little Aces, they do sell, but not a great deal. Sometimes it's worth the broken ones. If it doesn't buy them, I'll just take out the most of them. I think they've got 2 gig of RAM. But so that's me for now. Just got to sort these out and put them away, make room. Got this electro board, which is it's for one of those electronic markers, whiteboard markers, interactive whiteboards or whatever they are. No good to me, and so what I'll do with this is I'm just going to dismantle it so I can get rid of it as scrap steel. But it is on 6 casters, and those casters are really nice. So I'm going to keep the casters in case I want to build myself a dolly or something, and I'll probably just keep this little tray because you can mount it up against the wall, and it's just a good little caddy for things. So that's a good piece for the garage. And the rest, yeah, I'll just dismantle and get rid of it. Yeah, a lot of bits and pieces, a lot of cables, a lot of switches, things like that. I've got a couple of monitors brand new in box, Actually, I think they're from the office pickup. There's one down there, an Acer, and there's a what looks like could be a nice one. Is this HP N270C 27-inch curved display. So, you know, a nice curved monitor. So this one might be a good one. Yeah, it's still brand new in the box. So it's got mounting brackets. Everything's in there. I don't know why they got rid of it. Probably it might have been, sometimes offices get samples from the seller to see if they want to use them, and they get them for free, and maybe they didn't use it, they didn't want that type. So, well, that's a bonus to get a brand new 27-inch curved monitor. I'm going to have to check it out, and I'll update through the video. PCs, got the small form factor Aces. They're quite nice. They're only got the Core 2 Duo, but they're pretty all right. I can probably sell them because they're nice and compact. I've just got to sort this out before I continue on with the scrap marathon, but it won't take me too long. I need to clear off this table because I've got this really big TV as well I need to scrap out. So let's get on to this scrap marathon. And I just want to show you one more thing. Hey, how's this? Hey, I cleared off this area. So all that's left are just my 2 barrels there and that wheelie bin full of the surveillance stuff. So here we go. I've got my shed door empty. So I finally get a chance to get into this and see what's actually inside again. There's going to be a desk. So here we go. I'm not looking for, hopefully nothing falls out. It doesn't feel like it. The door feels nice and free. Oh, a bit creaky. It's like opening up the door to a haunted house. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I got stuff right up to the roof. I can see a DVR here. Looks like a monitor's new. These look like DVRs still. Brand new in box that I've kept. I think I've just put these, I don't know, I can't remember whether I just put them to get them out the way or put them there because they're the ones I want to keep, but I've got some inside. So wow, I need to start processing this and just seeing what's in there, and get some of the space back so I can start putting in stuff that I'm actually keeping. So I thought the first thing I was going to see was the desk, but the desk is behind these 3 boxes. So goodness me. And these are, yeah, DVRs. So they don't look like the very special ones, but yeah, so there's the desk that I want to get out and put into my little office. And all right, oh, there's even a tub that I could use. Wow. All right guys, let's get into this scrap marathon. So just a quick update on the couple of things that I mentioned in the pickup. I've cleaned up all the laptops and all that, all sorted out. So this is the flat screen monitor, and it's definitely brand new in the box because I just undone the sticky tape. So this looks like part of the base. And there we go. It's yeah, it looks like a nice HP curved monitor. Yep. And she's certainly brand new. So I don't know, you know, I kind of explained why they might have just got it as a sample, but because it hasn't been opened before, you know, it's not as if it's a faulty system or anything. So, and I actually looked up the model number, and the cheapest these are selling for is $300 here in Australia. And I was selling for even more like 400. So what I'll probably do with this is I don't really need a monitor right now. So I've got a reasonably big one. This might be a little bit bigger, but because it's the curved, it might be a little bit awkward to work out how to use it, because you've got to kind of get used to a curved. So I thought I'm just going to keep it till my other monitor packs in, and then at least I know I've got a good 24-inch curved monitor ready to replace it. So that's perfect. And the other thing I showed you was this casters that I was going to take off, and I started taking them off, and then I mentioned I can use these casters to make a dolly or something like that, and then I realized that it's actually, the base of the frame is actually perfect to make that dolly. So it's already a flat base that I can put a plank of wood or something like that and create a dolly to move heavy stuff around, like in a large workshop. Kept the bolts just in case. So there we go. I'm just going to keep this whole thing with the, you know, it's got some nice casters, and it's a really, really super heavy duty base. So perfect. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to scrap out in this video are the Foxtel digital cable boxes that I've mentioned I was going to scrap out, a whole bunch of them. I've got a few doubles and some different models of the same kind of thing. Also got a couple of the Optus ones. So I enjoy picking these up when I see them in street scrapping. Mainly because I know there's going to be usually a hard drive in there as well. Just gives a little bit extra value than, say, a DVD. And usually the boards are a lot better too. So I've got 4 of these Foxtel ones here. 2 of them are the Foxtel 1 and the IQ 1, and 2 of them are the IQ 2. One's a HD version, so I'll probably do 3 different ones of these just to see. These 2 are double up, so I'll do one of them. The 2 Optus, and there's an oddball Foxtel one there, and then the smaller IQs. There's a couple of different ones. And I've even got a couple of TiVo boxes, so I'll probably just scrap one of them out too. Yeah, so let's get into it. Right, first one is probably the smallest one. It's a digital cable box, old Foxtel. Looks like it's just not much to it. I've undone the screws from the back just to make each scrap quicker. That's just plastic. Well, there we go. Can't get much quicker than that. Once you open up, probably the biggest job is all the screws at the back to undo all the things so we can get the board out nice and easy. I try and do that with most things that I scrap, is undo the screws before I actually make a start, most of them anyway, that I can get to. Otherwise all the video ends up being is just undoing screws, because there's always going to be a lot of screws inside anyway. Okay, so I think I've got everything. It's, you know, it's just a mid-grade board, very basic. Well, it does have nice BGA here, but really nothing spectacular. But we've still got to work out how to get it open or get it out. Bit of brute force might help us along. Actually, little board here does have some
little gold pins. These are all these cable boxes, they're all Torx screws. And so I think this is a T9. T9 is generally about the most common. Obviously T10 is a really good one, and T8. So if you're after Torx screws, when you're buying your Torx screws set and you're scrapping out electronics, go for the smaller ones. So you want T8, 9 and 10, and after that it's more like T12, T14, and then way down, if you're going to scrap out hard drives and stuff like that, you want like T6 and 7s. But anyway, yeah, so okay, well that's just a board. At least we can get it get away with it being a mid-grade. Probably the only thing I do here, just to make it look a little bit more presentable and more like a circuit board, is just remove that little bit of scrap steel. It really, now I can only see green, it just really spruces it up a bit, and just so less risk that it gets downgraded to a low grade, because there is like transformers and stuff on there and a lot of capacitors, dead weight. So, you know, if you remove this main chip here, it would just be a low grade board. Okay, so the next batch are these two Foxtel ones again, slightly bigger. They're pretty much identical. The only difference is that this one's it's got 2 input ports, and this one's only got 1. So I'd imagine it'll all be pretty much very much the same. I've got another 2 of these single ones. So actually I'll do the single one first. I guess the main objective here is to just get into that garage and clean off as many things. So these set-top boxes have been building up. So there we go, we've got the hard drive there. So that's the kind of thing that I'm looking for. It's, you know, it's not a great deal more value, but it's just an extra hard drive. So a lot of this weight is all good stuff, hard drive, circuit boards. That's what we want. There's still a little bit extra in this one than the smaller one, and this is kind of what I'd normally expect in a cable box. So get a couple of screws out the side here of the hard drive. They've gone tricky on me. Torx screws everywhere except these 2 holding on the outside of the hard drive. But it's very common with things that have got Torx screws. The worst thing is when there's different size Torx screws, and then you got Phillips screws as well. It's just gets confusing. But here we go. So these hard drives are what? They're only 160 gigabytes. So that just sort of gives you an indication on the age of these. But you know, 160 is still all right for this purpose, I suppose. I'm not really sure what they probably, it's just to record a couple of programs or something. Just a little mid-grade board. So yeah, these hard drives just for scrap, but as I said, when I'm picking them up off the street, you know, and I say, oh great, you know, a Foxtel box, you know, I'm always happy, because you know, it's just that little bit extra weight, as opposed to like picking up scrap steel. That's all it is, it's just scrap steel. And well, as you know, at the moment scrap steel certainly isn't worth much money. So, and in the end, it's still, this whole casing is still all scrap steel. So we're not missing out on anything. We're still getting our fair share of scrap steel, I can tell you. I still need to do, even if I'm not picking up much, so yeah, even if I'm not picking up much, I'm still getting more than my fair share of scrap steel. Every couple of weeks at least, I'm going to the scrapyard just to get rid of the steel. So yeah, can never avoid it. So when I decide to pick up scrap steel off the street, it's just to add to what I've already got. Same deal here. It's almost a mid-grade board on this side. To get this rusty bit off, that will just kind of improve it a little bit, just so it doesn't look so ugly in the pile, you know, in the bucket of mid-grade board. So this is, yes, straight out mid-grade board. We've still got some scrap steel on it, but that's fine. And yeah, there we go. Yeah, again, just a mid-grade board. Don't expect a great deal. You know, it has got a BGA under this heatsink, but I'll leave the heatsink on to get mid-grade with that as well. So yeah, not bad. They're not bad. And that, yeah, it's just rubbish really. You know, all I'll do is that I'll just take off this little IC chip, twist it off, keep the IC chip. This is just scrap steel, there's nothing on it. Alright, well that's that one. And that was the single one, so all it is, the other one will just be the same as this. It's just got 2 ports instead of just one. So I might as well just go on to the next. So this one's a Optus. It's a Yes TV by Fetch. So something a little bit different, but still in the same sort of thing, like cable, internet, television type box. This is the first time I've ever actually done one of these. So far, more plastic than I can see. Okay, all right. So we've got some torque screws down in there, which are too deep for my screw. So we'll just have to do it by hand. This is probably the most used torque screw I've got. It's always on the bench because I think, yeah, again, it's like a T9, and it might be T10. You can buy like a six pack of these, starting from about T4 up to T10. More in here. Should be it. Yep. Just one, doesn't matter. All right. Well, it's probably the Fetch is more modern than the couple that I've done so far, and obviously it's a different company. 2 of the main providers of TV is Telstra, Foxtel and Optus Television. Now I think this is the Fetch. It might be, there's 2 versions. There's a mini and a maxi. I'm not sure which one it is. I've actually got one that they sent me, but I don't watch it, so I've just kept it brand new in box. Okay, so yeah, so these are 1 terabyte, so they're a bit better. They're quite modern. 1 terabyte is not bad for this kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, these aren't the most exciting thing to scrap, but still. And the good thing for me is I'm going to actually get rid of them. Got the traffic chopper coming overhead. I'm near a bridge, main bridge to the city, and so the chopper comes every day close by, hovers over and looks at the traffic and does the news report, you know. Oh, the local traffic, you know, there's a outbound, there's congestion, you know, on the bridge, and well, there's been a truck that's jackknifed or something, and traffic's at a standstill. And I'm just sitting there thinking, cool, I'm here. I don't have to get out there and deal with it. Okay. So, yeah, I've been doing little bits and pieces. There's just things on the floor of the garage, just power plugs and stuff that shouldn't have been there in the first place. You know, so in between to just give me a little bit of a break. Yeah, so not a great deal here. Tiny little, at least they're high quality, like they're little BGAs, but tiny little BGAs. You've got the main chip there. Your standard, that Broadcom, very common. But yeah, basically just a mid-grade board. But still got our hard drive out of it, so that's kind of all we can really expect. So that's 2. I've got one more Optus one. Yeah, I think it's the older one. Might be pretty good. And then a Foxtel, another Foxtel one, the bigger one. Oh, 2 of them, maybe 3. And then the TiVo. So a few of these to go, and yeah, we'll keep going. So this is the other Optus one. As you can see, it's totally different. This is more like the old Foxtel ones. Oh well, power board, a couple of small mid grades, and our hard drive. So I'd imagine this would be somewhere like 160. What do we got? Yeah, I can't see it, but probably a 160 gigabyte. It's a pretty old one. These are no real, not much different to scrapping out a DVD. Probably even sometimes a little bit quicker if you don't have to get the DVD drive out. But I didn't do street scrapping this weekend because I did a lot of school and office pickups, and I've just got too much stuff. And I thought, well, it's not the biggest areas for street scrapping, but I just didn't want to come back on the Sunday with another van load of scrap from the streets, because yeah, I've got to get through all this. You've got to get into that garage. And so there we go, two mid-grade boards. Even got a couple of BGAs on the back, can knock off before send it off. It's probably Just an average BGA under the heatsink. Yeah, and a little power board. So that's that one. Okay, a few foxtails, and then the TiVo. Alright, so these are the bigger silver foxtails. Still got the card in there. Just a little bit of gold plating. Takes about 500 of them to get. Probably more. Probably take 1,000 to get a gram, maybe even more. But it's actually the same board, or almost. It's just this one's a bit bigger as the very first one. Very similar. I suppose because they're both foxtail. And alright, we're back to talks. What do we have here? 160 gig. Seems to be the go in these. So, but it's all about the weight with hard drives. Anything under 2 terabytes, all about weight and sell it as scrap. So again, I hope that the video gets more interesting as we scrap different things out. The last video started off slow. It turned out different, interesting with the fax machine. So hope you enjoyed that. And there we have it. So same kind of deal. It's really nice Amiga BGA here, but aside from that, just lucky to get away with being a mid-grade board because of the transformers and all this dead weight. So once again, you can see this is all rusted. If we can get rid of that. There we have it. So it kind of just looks a little bit better. So there we go. Not bad. Just cut this ribbon wire in half. There we go. A bit of fan wire. There we go. All right. A couple more to go. I've got a couple of these last nice shiny black Foxtel IQs. The top one's the standard IQ, and this one's the IQ2. So it's a high definition one. So they very pretty much identical. This one's just missing the cover, which would just have normally would just say Foxtel IQ instead of IQ2. So I'll do the IQ first, and then I'll do the IQ2 and see. We'll just have a look at the two different boards and see if they're different or the same, and whether the HD actually makes any difference to the boards. So I'm just going to go in and have a little bit of a lunch, and I'll get onto these. Okay, regular first. All right. Yeah, quite nifty. It's chock-a-block, as you can see, so all the floor space is pretty much got something covering it. Hard drive, main board, another one there. You've got a really big power board here. So quite nice. Yeah. Back onto Phillips. Oh, actually, Back to Torx, so I can just get it off this one. See if we can get this. There we go. That's the main board. Yeah, not bad. Take a couple of these memory chips off the back. You won't notice it and still get mid-grade. Okay. Just a little bit of mid-grade. Hard drive, all buried. Yeah, really straightforward and simple things to scrap out, power board and clean up. No worries here. Excellent kind of stuff, just like DVD players for new scrappers or people with kids that want them to scrap something that's not too complicated and or dirty, nice and clean. All these kind of things are really good for them, and just good for any e-waste scrappers. If you're into e-waste, you know, this is our thing. All right, I won't bother getting that board out. There's nothing there, although probably maybe like that other one, it might have an IC chip underneath we can pinch. Yeah, same. I mean, it's only one little IC, but hey, just another one to the pile. It's a very thin one too, but still, you know, we don't know whether there's gold in there or not, because not all of them have gold, but still an IC chip, and we take it. All right, well, I'll go for the HD version next. Don't think there's going to be much difference, but we'll just have a quick look. I've got to get through them all anyway. Okay, so just quickly, the Foxtel IQ2. Just want to have a look. I doubt, yeah, it's identical. So there'll be a, where is it? Yeah. So this one, the IQ1 just had one port, whereas the high HD one's got 4 ports, and it's obviously got the HDMI part. Yeah, so slight variation on the main board, but exactly the same. So I'll just scrap this off camera and get rid of it. Okay, so here's the TiVo HD. It's more digital video recorder than anything. Yep, and at least it's got a nice big board, nice big main board, and yeah, actually huge board. Not a bad power board, and we've got a little hard drive here, and it's a 320 gig. So again, it's just going to go with scrap. Although some people might want to scan these and see if there's any good movies on there or whatever, but I doubt it. And the only way to get to this next screw, gotcha. one hard drive. And yeah, look at the size of this board. It's huge for what it is. So this is why I don't hesitate. So after this one, I'm just going to go off camera and do, I've got about 6 or 7, all different ones to finish off before I go in to the next thing on video. All right. Yeah, not a bad board. Well, actually, nothing really. It's not very heavy, and as you can see here, there are areas where there could have been all kinds of ICs. It's like a custom board, and you can put what you want on it. But obviously, they didn't need any of that. It would have been really nice if it had all these IC chips on there. But yeah, mid-grade. And that's that. So that was the TiVo. Nothing spectacular. No real better than any of the other ones. Alright, well, I'll just continue on, finish off this, and we'll go on to maybe some UPSs, just because I can see them in the doorway, and that'll be a good thing to get rid of next. Right, so I've got a Dell UPS here. I've got a couple of UPSs, or a few, that I need to get rid of as well. Most of these have just come in, so I guess it's still part of clearing out the garage, because it's all going to build up unless I get rid of something. Looks like I've got another school pickup coming up. They called me just before, and they're just working out what they're throwing out, so that'll come soon. So quicker than I can get rid of the last pickup, in comes another pickup, you know. And it's, you know, I mean, I'm not complaining. It's great. The more work, the better. Okay. But, yeah. It would be nice if they just spaced themselves out a little bit better, so I can catch up. So, all right, well, it's a good value one at least. We've got 3 batteries out of it. And these batteries, we've already tried to, you know, test them out to see if they're strong enough to take fresh charge. And they never are. They throw these out once the batteries are completely dead, and then the systems actually sit around for a long time as well, so the battery just keeps aging. And yeah. So all right, just got to find a big enough torque screw for this. Lots of nice plastic. So aside from the battery, there's always a good transformer, and then we've got some nice thick wire. Just dismantle these usually completely. These mid-size ones seems to be the only way to sort of get into them, is to do it all the way. Okay, so quite a large power board on this one. Bigger the better. And I always like to disconnect the battery first, obviously, and take it out in case there is some residual power. I've arced out a few of these side cutters by not doing the battery first, so lessons learned. Okay, just get this little board, just a little basically a mid-grade board. I'll clean all this wire out, some good heavy wire as well. All right. That's a good chunky power supply here. We just want this really thick cable. We can strip that for copper. Really nice heavy duty copper. And because it's going to go as a low grade board, there is a decent green board here. It's not doesn't weigh much, so it's not a great deal, but might as well take it and get mid-grade for it. It's worth a lot more than low grade. And there we go. Just leave it like that. And little power board, but get a little bit of value by this little copper coil. I'll just get this copper out, and could always get this one with the little contacts, but I won't bother with this. Good power board and our nice big transformer. Okay. There's always one that doesn't let me use my basic tool. I suppose I've got to go and find a... Oh no, I got away with it. Just saved me looking for a socket. That one. Yeah, and you usually have to just loosen them off and then you can just spin them off. There we go. Nice big heavy transformer. Bigger the better. Put that straight into transformers. Sure, there's a copper winding in there, but because the steel part is so heavy, and steel's isn't worth much anymore. And these are really hard to get out anyway. You spend a half an hour on that, busting a nut over it. And there's some scrap steel. It's a good heavy duty wire we can strip. And transformer, 3 nice batteries, nice heavy power supply, little mid-grade, another one there, some more wire we need to clean up. Pretty good. I'll go on to the next one. Okay, so this one's an APC UPS. Just work out. Don't get these ones that often. Just go down a little bit here. Really, I want to try and disconnect the wire, or the battery, sorry. I already have. Alright, so this one has got 2 batteries, more of the common style. So I always want to split them so I can get the wire out, because it's good heavy gauge wire. So waste not, want not. Alright, now we can get rid of these 2 batteries, and that's, you know, like £5 just there, you know. It adds up nicely. I just want to run out to the shops, because the new GoPro has come out, and I wanted to get one. It's going to be a little bit better for street scrapping, so I'll just clean up this wire. And yeah, it's still a decent sized transformer. Not as big as the last one, but these ones are the sealed. Again, just straight in transformers, but certainly get, you know, these UPSs are just amazing. When I first started picking them up, you know, the first few I didn't even know what they were years ago, and I was thinking, gosh, what's in these things? And I've picked up some really big ones from servers, you know. And the first mistake that I was making was I was loading them up like from schools and whatever. I was loading them into the back of the van, like the last thing in the van, and so they'd drag down the whole van while I'm driving, so I learnt pretty quickly whenever there's UPSs, try and put them in straight away first at the front of the van. I mean, it's common sense really. Okay. Well, there we go. A lot of leftover plastic in that one, and that's just a power board. You know, it's a nice green power board, but apart from cleaning up the wire, it could take off some of these nice chunky bits of aluminium, because they're just they're not screwed in or anything. Just got a MOSFET. Yeah, it's got a little Torx to get the MOSFET out, but quite nice chunky pieces of aluminium. Can take them, get a bit more value for the board, from the board. Also can also take this copper coil. It's easy copper. You can grab onto the little ferrite. Sometimes it works. The only thing with this copper is it can have the black resin stuck onto it, and so I don't like to melt this stuff, because unless I can really clean it up well. So I'll just put this into burnt copper usually. You know, I don't mind the top part, but I'll probably just cut off the part where it's got this lacquer. It's like a glue, you know. The brown, that's normal burnt, that goes away easy, but yeah. Yep, so there's the power board. Not a bad transformer actually. And 2 lead acid batteries. Alright, what next? I suppose I can get rid of this really chunky HP Pro Curve switch. These are really easy. There's really not much to them, apart from the modules here that you see in the front. 4 modules and a power supply. That's kind of just about it. This could have had 8 modules, but as you can see, 4 are blank. And yeah, just a pretty average board. Because of this, it's such a lot of weight. You know, this weighs 4 times, 5 times more than the actual board. So it's only a mid-grade board. It's only got the copper top BGAs with the gold corners, so these are usually not that good. Sometimes they can be, but it does have some awesome big chunky MLCCs that we can pinch, and a nice little gold band crystal oscillator that we could also pinch, and the rest we'll just leave, you know, maybe a couple more MLCs on the back, because they'll be good high-end MLCs, simply because of what it is. It's like a telecommunications thing. Another identical. This one's well, it's actually identical, except these ones have got heat sinks, so they might be slightly different. No, the same BGAs. Might as well leave the heat sinks on though. So the same deal, just the MLCCs, the crystal oscillator, and a few MLCCs from there. So it looks like they're all, yep, they're all identical on this one. Right, a lot of these switches, you know, usually have different boards, but still, it's good weight for what it is. It's not something that I like to sell. Now, there's a really nice backplane board in there that we're going to have to sort of really work on to get into. It's really not. They're only mid-grade. It's only a mid-grade board. There are tantalum capacitors on there that we can probably pinch. Probably are not much more, but we'll just see how. Sometimes they can be really hard to get into. And just got the power supply unit here. That should slide out. Okay, so there you go, nice little power supply unit. And yeah, okay, so it looks like I might be able to get into it. Just have to remove this back cover and just see, because they're torque screws, I've got to get my drill into there. So I'll open this back up and we'll just have a little look. Okay. All right. So I just dragged another box out of the garage. These have been sitting around for a while, buried underneath something. They're like little control panels, little access point things. So basically, I'm pretty sure what these are, you know, when you go to the library and you want to photocopy something or print something, you swipe your library card, you put your ID in, or you know what you want, and copy or print, and it takes the, you know, you pay for it, so it takes the money out of your account or something. Yeah, it's probably possible to use for other things, I'd imagine, but the only place I've seen these are in libraries, maybe at stationery shops as well when you want to print or copy, but that's all they are. And it's actually an older version, because now they've got touch screen, so that's probably why I've got them. So it was given to me by another scrapper that just wanted to get rid of them. So we'll just have a look at one, and I'll just clear off the rest. It's going to, obviously it's going to leave me with a whole lot of plastic, so that's not going to be great. Just trying to find a little screwdriver. There it is. Yeah, so it's okay. Yeah, not bad. At least it's got a couple of sets of boards. This one here, that's just a reader board, just a little mid. Oh well, it's actually not a bad one. At least it's got a little gold band crystal oscillator that we can take, and a few little tantalum capacitors, and yeah, just a mid-grade board. The best thing about scrapping these out is that it's just taken more junk out of the garage. That's about it. Because, but you know, this plastic I'm gonna have to deal with. It's not over until the plastic's gone. Okay. Yeah. Well, virtually nothing on this board. You know, there is, you know, little gold-plated pads there, and you know, the whole board is not like gold flashed like that. You can see the traces going through, and that's where most likely it'll just be copper running through anyway. So not a great deal here. Because the board is so clean, it might be still worth going for the gold recovery on these. I'll probably just keep these because there's really nothing to, you know, depopulate and get in the way of trying to get this little bit of gold off. So, and oh, yeah, just some latexy stuff, and just a little LCD board. Really not much value, but the thing is with these LCD boards is I'll just so once we take the LCD screen out, there's nothing there apart from, see these two black blobs? Well, they're actually IC chips under these little black blobs. And the reason why they put this is it's a protection, because underneath there are gold bonding wires that are exposed. So this protects the gold bonding wire. I don't know if I can. I'll remove this screen and see if I can get into one of them black blobs. Okay. We'll just see if we can sort of crush one open. Probably not. Just to show you the bonding wires underneath. Okay. Right. So just see if I can get a bit more. Okay. There's a bit of glue and stuff. But basically what it's revealed is, you can see that little ring of bonding wires running around, you know, and each of those wires run into these little dots, and there's a central little gold plated thing there. So this one here is quite fiddly. Some of them, when there's only one, it's more pronounced gold in there. These ones here, but still it's a very messy and dirty stuff that's going to take a while for the amount of gold you'll get. Might not be worth it, but that central part will be gold plating, so at least it is better gold. For me, I prefer to just throw these into mid-grade boards and let the bigger refiners get the gold and whatever. So that's it. And same with this, I'll just keep them because they're so clean and flat, can stack them up. And yeah, not a bad board. Remove the crystal oscillator, a few tantalums, and leave it as a mid-grade board. Another 21 to go. So leave this with me. It's going to leave me a lot of plastic. Like this plastic is clean plastic, probably a little bit okay recyclable, but you know, these have got the little bits of, whether they're brass or steel, they might be brass, but yeah, can break them off to make it more recyclable, but no one wants it anyway, and there's no identification onto what kind of plastic it is. It could be anything, a mixture of all kinds of things. Anyway, so that was these card readers. Not a lot to them, but still not bad. And yeah, awesome that it's out of big box, out of the garage. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, I've just taken a little break from scrapping out these. I think I've got 4 left. I went out and picked up my GoPro. So there we go, GoPro 8. They just came out, so I've been waiting for these for a while. Hopefully I'll be able to get better audio from my street scrapping videos, and yeah, they're not bad. apparently the audio is a lot better, and they've got wind reduction now, a lot better wind reduction. So that's the problem I've had with this camera that's playing now. I think it's the GoPro 5 or 6. So I haven't upgraded for a little while. And the beauty of this one is you no longer have to mount, you no longer have to have a cover to able to mount this on a tripod or on a head mount and stuff like that. So they got these cool little flip things here, and oh yeah, they look like they're replaceable, so if they break you can replace them at least. The only thing is the new ones don't have a removable lens, so if you scratch the lens it's probably going to be buggered. Yeah, nice. And so it doesn't look like it's got a microphone jack. In about a couple of months there's a new mod coming out, and it's basically, it slides over this and it'll have a good microphone, and then jacks for external microphones as well. So pretty cool. And yeah, with these little flaps, it's just going to save me putting it in and out of a actual case, and that's one of the most awkward things, trying to slide it in and slide it out of a case every time you want to change the battery or stuff like that. So I've just got to work out how to open it up, because without breaking it first. But there we go. So, and it's got hyper stabilization, which my camera's never had. Hyper smooth stabilization, and I've seen a clip on the stabilization, and even if you're wobbling it around, it stays still. So that's going to be handy when I'm doing street scrapping, so it's not so wobbly, and people are getting dizzy me turning around and moving my head so much. So yeah, there we go. Pretty cool. Got all the kit and caboodle. I got it for a pretty good deal. The shop price matched an online price, so I got it for $545. They matched a $550 and plus took off another $5. So, well, hopefully this is going to make a little bit better videos, just better audio quality. I'm already happy with the video quality, so, but we'll see. I might charge up the battery and continue this marathon with my new camera, and we'll see how it goes with the sound anyway. Although I've got an external microphone on this camera, as long as I don't move the camera around, it doesn't cause any problems. But as soon as I move it around, it starts squelching. Like I'll try it. Yeah, don't know. But so that's the problem. But without having a case around this and just being able to mount it as it is, it's got 3 little microphones around it. It's it should make my sound less muffled. Like this should be good, but yeah, a lot of times when I've got the case on and I'm doing street scrapping, it's a muffled sound because it's covered in a case. So should be good. All right, let's get back to this marathon. I've just decided to get rid of these televisions because I've already scrapped this big one out. I've got these 4 to go, and because I've got some more in the van, and I've actually got a booking for tomorrow, which is going to be a big load of TVs again. So I've got 3 in here that I need to scrap out, and scrap the other 4 inside, and then I need to take these to the transfer station first thing in the morning before I go and pick up the other load. So it's normally
I don't like to pick up so many TVs. These just came from the street scrapping session I just did, and I just wasn't expecting to get such a big job for tomorrow. It's just some old guy that's collected a whole bunch of TVs and he wants to get rid of them. So I know to expect quite a lot. I don't know how many, but apparently there could even be 2 loads. So if I don't clear off these TVs now, I'm going to be overloaded with TVs tomorrow when I come back. So this is the other side of street scrapping. It's all well and good bringing in scrap from the streets, but got the whole thing out, but I just don't know what I'm going to pick up through the week, which just makes it a bit hard. Okay, well, that's just spinning. Let's see if I change the other side. So, but at least it's a beautiful day today. And give me a good chance to get through all this stuff and get rid of them, you know. But I picked these up from the street because they're nice big TVs and they got, you know, good copper, you know, nice copper yokes here for when I start melting again. Got to be careful now because, you know, it's like 1 in 100 of these come, you know, break off. The glass actually breaks. So that's just how it goes. All right. Because this board is on this big plastic thing, I want to put the plastic thing back into the TV, obviously, so I can find all the screws. So probably not extremely exciting, but well, that's what scrap's all about. It can be a mixture of things, and not everything is fun. Some things are just work, but that's a pretty decent board. And we've got a couple of nice ICs that I'll take off. See this nice copper coil here I want, and clean up the wire. Well, there we go, we've got our plastic bit. There's a little bit of copper on that. Okay, and there's our nice clean copper wire in the degaussing cable, nice and heavy. And the last thing, I'll just get some of this braided wire. Done. I won't worry about the speakers. Scrap steel's not worth anything anyway at the moment, so there's a bit of wire here from the other speaker, the subwoofer. Trying to put it on the wrong way anyway. Always best from the back, always gives you a good indication of whether you're in line. Because these TVs are so big, it's important to get as many screws in as possible. There we go. Okay, job done. Well, that's one big one out the way. So all I'll do is I'll just leave them aside. I'll do a couple more and then I'll just throw them back in. Also got a microwave here, but I don't need to do the microwave right now. So, it's this big Sony that would be good to do. This is a really heavy Sony. It's not the biggest, but it's one of the heaviest. Wonder why it's so heavy. Must just be a really heavy tube inside. Okay. Yeah, it's one of those super tubes, really heavy Sony tube. That's all right. This will be pretty good value in copper and circuit boards.
quite a lot of wiring to clean up here. So I don't want to leave myself too much excess work to do afterwards. So try and do as much as I can. Yeah. Even there's a nice little copper winding we can get. Just a bit extra. Okay. Big copper yoke here. Huge. Yeah, nice copper yoke. As well as more copper windings around here, copper coils here, and a small degaussing cable around the yoke. It's extra bonus copper. Really good. That's huge amount of copper there for just a TV, but Sony's are usually always great. So, not to mention a decent size degaussing cable as well. Not the biggest Sony degaussing cable, but still, there's two of them, but still not the biggest. So that's just one side, and yeah, it's not as thick as some of them, but still, it's all good. Okay. Yeah, it's still super heavy. It's all about the screen. And yeah, I've got to get this plastic off too, because I don't want to end up with this as rubbish. It'd be just too big and bulky to, you know, dispose of. So I'll get the good parts of the boards. And this one's a good bit. It's got the two nice copper coils on it. Yeah, see that? Beautiful. Two nice pieces of copper. Just clean off these wires around here. So yeah, I picked these up, and yesterday in street scrapping, you saw that video when I got the fine, the parking fine, the seatbelt fine, and I just wasn't expecting to get a call today from a household to come and pick up more TVs. If I knew that, I probably wouldn't have taken these TVs off the street, but still, I wanted the copper. So, especially from this Sony, it's all good. It just, you know, everything just sort of slows me down in doing what I really want to do as part of this marathon, is make way in the garage. But as you've seen, I'm getting there. In time, we'll have it all done, and then look out, then it's have a bit more fun. Just a little bit less organized doing it out here.
but it just saves me dragging in the TVs and either doing it on the ground or having to pick them up and lift them onto the table. They're just too big and heavy, and to keep lifting them I already got to, you know, load them in the van and out of the van. All right, it looks like we've got the main board out. We'll clean all that up later. Good stuff. And just this board here, it's got a transformer, low grade. The rest of that not even worth taking out. Get down to degaussing. Cut some wire. There we go. Nice. All right, I'll leave the speakers. Just put that back in there somewhere. Get this in. Just trying to work out how it went. That should do. A bit awkward. And there'd be nothing worse than not being able to put this together. Now we've got two, I think. Yep. Okay. Just got to be careful with this. This one I'll just slide straight back in. It'll be the first one to go out. And this Mitsubishi, old vintage timber. I want to do this one, and the other black and white one I want to keep for a while till I work out if it's worth selling. Yeah, get this one done. This one should be reasonably easy. Well, it's probably going to have a lot of wire to clean up. But don't get a chance to do vintage ones that often anymore. They're run out good and proper. Okay, all right, there we go. Well, it's reasonably straightforward. Just got the boards mounted against the walls. Might just be a bit awkward to get through. All right. There we go. It's one board. Look at all that wire.
Yeah, I reckon there'll be some good ICs in these ones. This one's just done up by a wing nut. Okay. Okay. Nice wire. All right. Sometimes these degaussing cables can be aluminium. If it is, I'll just leave it in there. No, it's copper. Good. Excellent. This one's huge. Really nice. Good copper in that. Hey, about 2.5, 3 pounds. Okay. Another wing nut. Awesome. 3 boards. Okay. Yeah, plenty of wire. Just the yoke to go. Beautiful. Nice. All right. 3 TVs, the biggest ones that I wanted to get rid of are out the way. Now we can start getting towards the smaller ones. Upside down. All right. Okay, so I'll just finish this off and load it back up, get out the black and white one, put it in the back, and finish off the other TVs I got in the driveway, and we'll do a trip to the transfer station and get rid of them, and then straight to the residential house and pick up probably 2 loads of TVs. So no mucking around. What do? At least I get paid. I don't get paid much, just to cover the petrol. I charge $10 per trip for residential. It's only to cover the petrol. I try and get the value out of what I pick up, but usually I'm spending time doing work for them, so I'm not a complete charity. I gotta charge sometimes for some jobs, because you know it's usually low value stuff. All right. Yeah, this Canberra television, it's black and white, so it's important to at least do a bit of research and see if I can resell it. There are collectors that might want this model, and
Well, main thing is got 3 of the biggest TVs done. Hey. Okay. So 3 down. I've done this huge Sony, so that's good at least. I want to do at least a couple more. Don't want to overload the van, but yeah, I might even do all 4. All right. So next up that I want to clear out are these oddball bits that someone dropped off to me. It's all from taxis. So here's a really old taximeter thing. That looks like a more modern kind of cab charge thing. I'm just going to bust through them. This is obviously the taxi camera, so it's like the black box of the cab, the camera system, just a swipe thing, a receipt box, and some of these LCD iPilots. Just want to have a little look inside them, scrap them out just to get rid of them. I just bought a whole bunch of e-waste from a scrapper. Got 5 crates of hard drives, a bunch of laptops that I need to process, and then a heap of motherboards. That's one big pile of motherboards and all kinds of boards. There's slot cards in that box, and then mid-grade boards. I got, just trying to carry the tripod. Got stacks of mid-grade boards I've got to go through and process myself. And what I do is I just work out what I'm going to on sell and what I like to depopulate. Some I partially depopulate, and yeah, a whole lot of motherboards to go through, stacks of them. And same as these hard drives, I like to take out the very old ones if there are any, and I like to depopulate them. And with the laptops, they're all just scrap, pretty rough laptops, so they'll just be unsold. So I'm kind of getting here. I just emptied a whole lot of little bits and pieces out of this bin. Wasn't really very interesting, cords and stuff. And I still haven't really stepped into the garage, because as I'm going, I'm doing a lot of pickups, so just trying to get on top of everything. So yeah, well, I'll continue on here, and we'll see how we go. Hopefully we catch up with some stuff in the next few days. Don't know how long this video's gone, but let's keep going. Well, I'll just get some of the basic things. There probably won't be much in this little receipt box. I just want to open it up and get rid of whatever is in there. It's basically just an empty box with, should be one circuit board in there to control it. And yeah, I went and dropped off the TVs, and then I went straight to this house and picked up another load of huge TVs, and I scrapped them out straight away as soon as I brought them in. And I actually went back to the transfer station and dropped them off again. So let's get this battery out the way. So I'm clear off TVs anyway, so that's one good thing. Yeah, just a basic mid-grade board.
and get a little tantalum capacitor there, but that's about it. Not a lot. All right, I might do one of these iPilot 8000s just to have a little look. So in between shooting the video, I've scrapped hundreds of little tiny little things, just knick-knack things, to kind of get them out the way and just make it easier for me when I'm making videos. I don't have so many small things to process. Now I've already done a couple of these, and I'll just test it, but I worked out, yeah, this one's a lot easier. The other ones that I did, the screws were really hard to get out, and I had to virtually I had to just break them out. It's still not that easy. Just to this LCD screen. Yeah, that one's not going to come. It's just the nut underneath spins around, and all right, well, it's half. Be able to just rip it out. But these have got really good boards, surprisingly, pretty incredible circuit boards in here. I might just see if I can get this screen apart. So I've got one more school to go tomorrow. Again, just another small one. But because they take time to get there and do the pickup, and then when I come back I try and process everything straight away, I lose half a day. So I'm kind of hoping that I don't get any more pickups for at least a week, just to give me a good chance to get on top of everything, because I really want to get into that garage. It's starting to drive me crazy. Just a little finger strip board here. I just put them with regular LCD finger strip boards, and it's just the screen. But it's this circuit board here that's double-sided and really good value. So that's the main side here. So it's pretty cool. It's really nicely populated. You know, it's got good tantalums, BGAs, just a really nice little clean board, not much junk on it. You know, this side, yeah, we've got some more junk here. You know, I'll take the big tantalum capacitor. Look how chunky that is. Yeah, I'll just leave this side as it is apart from that, and yeah, partially depopulate, just get off all these tantalums, maybe a couple of BGAs, and bring it down to a standard mid-grade board, because like that it's just too high value. But yeah, these iPilots are really good. I'll finish the other one off later. I might do this swipe card thing. Everything should have a little circuit board in there, so that's basically all we want. And scrapper that brought me boards, I think a few weeks ago, you know, dropped off all this stuff. He didn't have time to scrap it out. Well, this is quite nice, just the just a standard LCD board and the tactile switch board here, so I won't have to do this one on camera. Pretty standard, but that's a nice Nice little board. It's got a EEPROM there. And it looks like it's got some good gold pins here. Battery up. Yeah, so we've got a really nice set of gold pins here. So I'll take them pins off. I'll cut just with the side cutters and I'll just get what I can. Yeah. Doesn't get all of it, but just get what I can get to. That's why I like to keep a bench clean of all the little screws and washers and stuff, just so when I do something like this, probably should have just cut them over a little tub just to save time, but hey. Nice little gold pins. Okay, and a little EEPROM here. Always like to take off these tabs so I don't have to later, and so I can always make sure that they are EEPROMs and not just regular ICs. Easy to see, but there's no gold in that, but still goes to EEPROMs. Got a removable, I usually always take out the removable IC chips, and yeah, not bad, nothing spectacular. It's just a good mid-grade board. I won't depopulate anymore because it's got a lot of junk on it, so the transformer and stuff, dead weight, so I'll just keep that, but that's not bad. Yeah, just got to get out this LCD screen. With the screen on there, it's only a low grade, and probably preferable to take out the screen, because there's really nothing of value in there. But it does have two nice flat packs there, you know, and yeah, it looks like it's all sort of together, so I'll worry about that a little bit later. Well, if this was in nice condition, you know, it didn't have all the missing buttons and stuff, you know, I would have probably kept it just for something, you know, unusual. But it's not a good specimen. It came out of obviously an older taxi. So, because it's old, we'll have a look at. Yeah, it looks like it's got a couple of layers of circuit board in there. Yeah, you know, nothing spectacular, but just interesting to have a look, see what these things were made up of. And it's got little Torx. No, very little. It's alright, just break it off. Yeah, so this part 2 of this video has just been, it's taken
quite some time, because just as soon as I start a video like this, I start getting crazy pickups from everywhere and just unexpected stuff. I wouldn't have started the marathon if I had, you know, bookings in advance, like, you know, a week or two in advance. But yeah, they just come from everywhere all of a sudden, and so I've got no choice, because I can't knock back pickups. And same as when I'm buying boards, you know, virtually every second day there's someone coming with boards, and that's time consuming too. So there's just not enough time in a day to get on top of everything and do the videos at the same time. So I might not even have a chance to get out and do street scrapping this week. I'll see how I go. I want to go out for at least a couple of hours. I'll just yeah, see how I go, because yeah, well, at least this has got a nice E-prime here. Actually, it's a gold one. I can see the gold, so that's a really nice one. Happy with that. It's actually like a kind of like a CPU thing. It's an Intel 1988, so it'll be yeah, it's a good one. Might even look it up. And but the rest, well, that's the LCD screen, and yeah, I'll just keep this rest as it is. It does have a little removable IC I can take. This crystal, but yeah, interesting. Actually, it's got some just average gold pins. I'd rather leave this on there, because complete like that, you can go as low as mid-grade. If I separate it, this part would be just low grade, so I'll keep it like that and we get mid-grade for it. Yeah, interesting. But that's sort of probably like, you know, like an CPU of sorts, but it is gold one. I won't worry about looking it up. This looks just like, it looks like the car computer system. Doesn't look like much. These boards are generally aren't that high value from the car computers. That's what it looks like. Just tell from those set of pins there. So it might have come from the taxi, but it's not part of the meter system. Yeah, very typical. Just a mid-grade board. There's really nothing on them. Yep, very little value for gold recovery anyway. Nothing really there, but still, we saw her. And this thing, it's the modern sort of cab charge screen. See if we can get a torque screws. Yeah, but I'm kind of not looking forward to getting into the shed part because there's a lot of work stuffed in there. But gosh, I can't wait to get into this garage. It's driving me crazy. I might have to sort of cut a few corners to and not scrap out everything to get into there. Okay. Screw at the front here. Okay. Well, it's got nice BGAs around.
bad. Not much on this side. And there's my little thing. Yeah, so I'll get this battery out so I don't forget. So yeah, some good BGAs, the highest grade ones, class 1. And you see these things I've showed you a few times. They're tantalum capacitors. They look like MLCCs, but they got the orange sticker over the top of them. That's actually a tantalum capacitor, not an MLCC. And they're actually high value ones because they got very good silver content in these compared to other tantalum capacitors. So yeah, not bad. And just a screen board, really nothing much here. It's got this ribbon wire where we got a little bit of gold plating or gold flashing on the tips there. You can accumulate them. Last thing out of this taxi thing is the taxi cam. So just want to see what this, yeah, I think it's like obviously it's the main control for the camera. Might be like might be a hard drive in there. Okay. So don't know how they did that. That looks like it won't be easy. Probably yeah, I don't know how they did that. Two totally different screws. I'm going to have to look for well, that's strange. Well, that's going to make it hard because they're two completely different size and types of torque screws. So these ones are fine. Let's see if what we can get into. Okay, so this looks like the control box, and this, I dare say, is the hard drive, the main black box part. I'm going to have to work on this a little bit, get those screws out. Maybe they just changed up the screws to make it a little bit harder to get into. Who knows? But this should be the main part anyway. Okay. So, yeah, just similar to like a modem kind of board. Does have a nice gold band crystal oscillator here. These are my favorite things, always get that. Get the little crystal, regular one. So yeah, these crystals, they're not called crystal oscillators, they're just crystals. The crystal oscillators are got usually four legs, and these are obviously crystal oscillators, surface mount ones. Yeah, not bad. I dare say that this is going to be like the hard drive. So that's one way of getting into it. Just loosening the screws off from the outside. Saved me looking around for some oddball shaped torque screw or security screw. Wow, it's all foam in here, so it's just a very tightly packed construction here. That's soft, spongy. Strange, real strange. Well, that's super strange. So again, it's just polystyrene foam. So they've really emphasized the importance of this not to vibrate and stuff. Got a little gold band crystal oscillator there, but this is just, it's just rubber, and it's got air inside. So wow. So obviously what we're going to do is we're going to rip this rubber out and see what's actually inside, what they're protecting. It's really unusual. Okay. Just the very eye technology. Okay. Well, it's just got one of those silicon drive cards in here. This is a 16 gigabyte parter. It's yeah, just like a little memory card, but that's all that's there. Wow, a lot of effort to just to conceal this little drive. I don't know why, but that's the inside of it anyway. So it's just a 16 bit, so saves me doing it. So they're the three little memory chips, and another one there, and then that's your main little chip. So quite a heavily populated little board, but that's it, and really nothing else on there apart from that crystal oscillator. And there's some ICs on this side, but that's a really heavy duty construction, like serious construction, just to keep this. Obviously maybe because it's in a vehicle and they're just trying to keep it still to but I mean, that's a really heavy little box, and all it is just filled up with this polystyrene just to keep it all tight sealed unit. That's strange. Oh well, learn something new every day. All right, well, that was kind of interesting. Just bits and pieces from taxis. Did get a couple of good chips. That's super strange. Yeah, I'll just throw this in scrap steel. Yeah, I just got to clean this up and go on to something else. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this part of the mega marathon. It was a little bit hard to do this part 2 because I had so many distractions through the week, and so many things going on. I just couldn't keep up with what was going on in the video and what was coming in, buying boards, picking up, doing so many pickups, residential and stuff. So well, hopefully the hardest part for me was over now, and I can sort of really get into focusing on clearing this garage and really getting into this scrap marathon in part 3. So look out for part 3 to come. Probably it might be a week away. It's just going to take time. I'm going to go out street scrapping on the weekend for one day, so that's also going to bring in more stuff. So I'm just trying to do a little bit of everything, continue on with the
mega scrap marathon videos, and also keep up to date with things that are coming in. And so all I'm going to do now is just start processing the stuff that I just recently bought and get all the circuit boards down. I've got to go and take some circuit boards into my buyer, the ones that I'm selling. I've got a couple of tubs here. The mid-grade is chock-a-block full, so that's got to go. I'll just top up this motherboard one, and that'll also go, so I can start refilling them again. So yeah, I'm just trying to really catch up on things. At least I got rid of all the TVs and the ones that you didn't see that I picked up at the residential. I've got a lot of printers here that I need to get rid of. I'll just get rid of them as scrap steel, just low-grade pressing steel. So I'll have to do another scrap metal run. Got PCs piling up again pretty much everywhere, you know, and so yeah, just trying to catch up on things. But I think the stage 3 of the video will start to really make inroads into this garage, and yeah, I just can't wait. It's driving me crazy. I'm really frustrated that I still haven't been able to get into the garage, but you know, I'm also trying to run a small business, so you know, I need cash flow coming in. So you know, I can't knock back work when it comes in. That's just how it goes. That's one of the reasons why this garage got in this state in the first place, is because you know, it's just hard to keep up with stuff that you know, that comes in. I do a pickup, and it can take me a week to clear it out. And so, like, my shed door is closed off again because I've got all these boards to handle. So as soon as I get rid of my mid-grade tub, I can process these and put them in, and also get rid of them. But just seriously, I've got a lot of gaming consoles that I need to polish up and put away, and just so many things. But well, that's what scrapping's all about. It's a never-ending process. But you know, I hope in the next few weeks I really get on top of it all, and you know, and really start having a bit more fun in scrapping things out, and getting into my stuff that I collect, and the gold recovery bits, and melting copper, and all kinds of things. And you know, I think, you know, next year I'll definitely have it all worked out perfectly. But yeah, in the next few weeks I've got to have this garage clear, and you know, we can really start to have a bit of fun with some videos and stuff. So bear with me. I'm trying the best I can. I work pretty much 7 days a week on this, so I'll get there though. All right, but the main thing is, it's all about, you know, it's not just about making money, it's about having fun. And that's what my videos are intended to be. It's you know, just sharing a bit of fun and a bit of knowledge with other scrappers and new scrappers that are coming in. Hopefully learn stuff and pick up ideas on how they can make a little bit of spare money. And also, even if it's not money, it's just about a hobby, having a bit of fun with electronics and scrapping stuff out, and you know, finding copper and brass and all that. It's just fun. That's all it's about. And so anyway, guys, keep scrapping, keep having fun, and I'll see you in a few days with my street scrapping video. See you later.